Pacers basketball. Coming back to talk to you guys. Now, after a great showing against Toronto, a great win against Toronto, Nembhard stepping up, and he still has been playing good. Two brutal losses against the Celtics, who just played as a better team. That's going to happen. Don't really want to get into that game as much, although I saw it all. I really want to get into more about the Hawks, who beat the Pacers even without Trae Young for 1.5 quarters of the game. So Trae Young, as you know, or you might not know, is a 27-point, 10-assist guy. One of the most valuable players to a team, not MVP like I'm saying to the league, but I'm saying valuable to his team players. They had DeJounte Murray out there dishing up assists. DeJounte can give assists, but he's really a pure bucket guy. The defense in passing lanes has been horrific lately. The rebounding has still been horrific. And even with all of these things that I say, I got contacted by the assistant coach of the Indiana Pacers. And he made me videos saying, thank you for your support. Thank you for your, continued support of the Pacers. And the truth is, if you've watched these videos, you would almost think, are you really that much of a fan? And I'm glad that he realizes I am, and I'm being critical of the way that things are done. First of all, let Bennedict Mathurin shoot. He's a guy I just got the jersey of. I'm going to go to a game on Friday against the Thunder, which I've mentioned before. You got to let Benny shoot. I mean, he's a baller. He gets to his spots. I saw one guy explain, I don't know who it was, but there was a tweet, and somebody said, watching Bennedict Mathurin drive to the paint is like watching somebody with road rage. Why has he not been road raging? You know what I mean? Why has he not been going to the cup? Nembhard has been playing amazing. There's actually Pacers fans that I've seen in comments all over different social medias saying, is it me or is Nembhard better than Bennedict Mathurin now? No. Defensively, heck yes he is. Defensively, Nembhard, which I really wanted to mention this for a while because I want to bring up the positives of the Pacers. Nembhard is an incredible defender. I can actually see him being all defensive second team one day, kind of like Pat Bev used to get, because he is that locked down on the outside. Sure, he's going to get crossed up sometimes. He's going to get, problems. Heck, he got crossed up by Tatum like 2 times. But when he was on Tatum, he locked him down for the most part. He locked down Tatum in his first matchup against Tatum to 13 points. He locked down Curry in his first matchup to 14 points. This guy is a certified dog on defense. And his mid-range game is incredible. And he's very clutch late game. You can tell that he wants to play on the offensive side of the ball, just like Haliburton, meaning a pass-first guy. Mathurin passes too much. Early on in the year, Bennedict Mathurin, coming off the bench, didn't really pass. He took his buckets. But then he'd been put as a starter lately by Rick, which I respect, Carlisle. Thank you for putting Bennedict Mathurin as a starter. I think it's good to get him to that progression and get him those reps as next year comes along. And I think that next year is going to be a way better year for the Pacers, by the way. I think they could be an 8 seed, 8 to 6 seed, somewhere within there. They could even be better with Haliburton hopefully being healthy next year. The thing is, you have to let Bennedict shoot. I know that you don't want him out there being like Kobe, taking every single shot, but he has the attributes to drive and dunk. He has the attributes to shoot. He has the attributes at all 3 levels to score better than a guy like Nembhard. I don't see Nembhard slashing as well as Bennedict slashes. That's part of the game that Nembhard can't really replicate from Haliburton. Another guy I want to talk about is Miles Turner. I love Miles Turner. I do. He's been one of my favorite Pacers for so long. And I'm coming at this from the most non-biased way I can. If it wasn't for blocks on the defensive end, Miles Turner is one of the most minus defenders I've ever seen from the eye test. I'm not talking about advanced statistics. I'm not looking at those. I'm saying from watching the games, the guy cannot guard the perimeter. When he's guarding a center who can shoot, the centers kill. Honestly, when most of the team who's not named Andrew Nembhard is defending the perimeter, the shots are going down. The Pacers are not able to defend perimeterly. And it's killing them. They had AJ Griffin out there. Yes, AJ Griffin, who, I'm not talking about Family Guy. I'm not talking about, Peter Griffin. I'm talking about AJ Griffin was shooting lights out against the Pacers. He had 11 points in the first quarter off the bench in like 5 minutes. This is unacceptable. Rebounding-wise, still issues. Up until the fourth quarter, the Pacers don't realize how to rebound. They look like a JV basketball team. I love this team. Don't get me wrong. Again, the assistant reached out. He said, thank you for your support. I love this team. I love Indiana. I mean, look, it's right on my shirt. I bleed blue and gold. I bleed blue and white with the Colts. But as you Colts fans know who've been on this channel, and as you Pacers fans who know and who've been on this channel, I'm going to be hypercritical because I want that next step. By the way, once April comes around, start of drafting time, I'm going to be reviewing the draft picks of the Colts, how I feel about them, how I feel about all these different draft picks. I'm really going to keep going on all these different Indiana sports things so you guys know what is going on. With that being said, I'm really interested in these last, I think it's 6 or 7 games now for Indiana. And I'm not even looking at the wins. I'm looking at how is the team going to progress. And my next player I want to mention is Jordan Nwora, a very, very underrated mid-season trade with the Milwaukee Bucks. So, got George Hill, got Nwora. Which, by the way, getting George Hill, awesome to get a veteran presence, a guy who knows Indy, who loves Indiana, who's from here, who's from Broad Ripple, the Broad Ripple Bomber. Gotta love George Hill. Brought Serge Ibaka as then money and then got rid of him, right, just to fill a roster spot. Brought back Joe Johnson. Great guy also in the locker room. 2 great veteran presences, and you can feel them when you see them talking on the sideline. Jordan Nwora, though, is a hooper. He reminds me of Aaron Nesmith. He's a lot like him. He's a guy who's going to grit and grind. He's going to fake a pass, and he's going to go out there, and he's going to dunk on you, or he's going to do a layup. I love both of those players, and it makes me a little sad to know that we're not probably going to have one of them next year. And as much as I love Nesmith, and I honestly think he's my favorite player on the team, the way he plays and grits and hustles and is clutch at the end, Nwora is special and young. I think he's 22. And he just scored a franchise regular season record of points in one quarter, 25 points in a quarter. In a quarter. These Pacers guys are breaking records. Turner getting close to the most blocks as a Pacer in history. Halliburton already had like most assists in a Pacer season, and he had most assists as a Pacer in a game. Broke his own career high in assists, got 19 when he scored like 40 points and got 19 assists. Dude, this Pacers team is so young, breaking all these records, doing all these things, but can't put it into wins yet. They are going to be dangerous. And it's so fun to watch because as soon as the Colts draft a young quarterback, hopefully Bryce Young, you know what I'm saying? It's going to be hard to get him, I know. I don't mind Anthony Richardson, not a big Will Levis guy. I want to throw that out there. As soon as they get Young over there, there's going to be an energy there. You know what I mean? Hiring Mike Shea. Can't pronounce the dude's name. The new coach over there in Indy. Awesome. Oh my God, dust. Anyway. The Pacers, man. I love Rick. And I want to give him one more year. A lot of people are writing him off right now. I talk a lot of bad about Carlisle. I do. I'll be the first to admit it. But Rick Carlisle is a good coach. He's won with solid guys and then guys around him who really just seem like role players. The Mavericks in 2011. Same thing with Mike Weiner, who actually did that video and sent it to me. He was the assistant to the assistant at that point. He was the special assistant, and now he's the assistant. And he was the assistant there when they had Luka there in that like final season and such. Luka, by the way, heck of a player. Hallie's incredible. When I watch Halliburton on the court and I realize his upside, I don't say this lightly. He's at least going to be in the Hall of Very Good. And there's a possibility if he leads Indiana where I think he can, that he could be a Famer. And he's 23 years old, man. He's 23. He was born in 2000. 2000. This guy was born in 2000. It's crazy. It's crazy young for your best player. Your best player to be born in 2000 is crazy. Paolo Banchero, I mean, same thing like over there in Orlando. Like, there are so many young teams right now that are getting there. One of them I'm going to go see, which is the Thunder, and they're going to be in the playoffs this year, and they are amazing. And they are like the Pacers of the West, I say. The difference is that they built it all off of draft capital. Pacers did it a lot in these trades that were kind of alley-oops, you know, things where is it gonna get dunked? And a lot of them did. Nwora, Nesmith, I love Durarte, but we're probably going to have to get rid of him. I don't really love his playmaking and his play style. McConnell, love him off the bench. He plays it the same way Tyrese does, just a little bit slower. I wish he could pick it up. The Pacers are building something great. I just needed to call out the bad. So the matchups coming up, you got the Bucks, you got the Mavericks, you got the Thunder. Hard matchups. And again, it's not about the win at the end. It's about watching progression of the team. And I think defensively, they're finding some pieces that are getting better, like Nembhard. Rebounding wise, Isaiah Jackson and Jalen Smith. Don't get me wrong with them. Jalen Smith, though, raw. He still has a long way to go, just grabbing the ball with his hands. I mean, I watched him fumble the ball out of bounds against Boston about 18 times. Same thing against the Hawks in the first quarter. I mean, he needs to hold on to the ball. Isaiah Jackson, though, love him. Sometimes his communication or his, connecting with Halliburton or connecting with Nembhard with the pass is a little bit off. You could tell that he needs to get more first-team reps, but this team is going somewhere fast, and they're doing it well, and I love Indiana basketball. I wouldn't be putting an 11-minute video out again if I didn't love them. So that's the problem with the Pacers, and the future looks bright. I really hope that they put it together. Play-in is like 99% out of the window unless they go on a crazy run. I'd love to see it, and I'd love to be part of going to a game and watching it happen. But Chicago just keeps winning, and good for them. But, yeah, that's all I got. Until next time, guys, I bleed blue and gold. I bleed blue and white. Indiana every single day and every night. Bye.